Welcome to Donkey Stomp. Today's topic, the mirage of DOGE. DOGE stands for the Department of Government Efficiency. It was created by the current White House administration, and it is an unapproved department because per our Constitution and laws, every department must be approved by Congress, and this has yet to happen. DOGE is tasked with trying to find cost cuts and efficiencies throughout the federal government. Today I will really explore the imbalance that we have from our federal income and the federal outlays that creates the annual federal deficit, adding to the national debt. And is DOGE just another attempt by the mega wealthy to give the perception that we can find these cuts in the spending and cut taxes without having a negative impact on the national debt? You can find all of the data that I will share today at fiscaldata.treasury.gov. This is a great website, tons of information there, and it's hopefully this is one that DOGE doesn't take down because very well done. Congratulations to our government workers on creating this site because it's a great site. This first chart lays out the receipts by source and the outlays by function for the federal government for fiscal year 2024. Fiscal years run from October 1 through September 30th. So for fiscal year 2024, it went from October 1, 2023 to September 30th of 2024. As you can see here, the total receipts for the federal government equals $4.92 trillion. The outlays equal $6.75 trillion, which created a deficit for just a single fiscal year of 2024 of $1.833 trillion. That deficit means we came up about 27.1% short of our expenses. Now, I also want to point out on this side the individual income taxes. That accounts for under half of what the government takes in. That's 49.32%. When we dive into the outlays by function, because we always hear we can cut, let's all agree that there are categories considered the untouchables: Social Security and Medicare, and then of course the net interest, because that is something that we can't cut anyway. That's just a defined number that's every year. But let's consider those the untouchables. That equals $3.22 trillion, or just over 47% of the total outlays. We can also agree that cuts are unlikely to happen. If anything, potentially they will go up for national defense and VA benefits. Combined, those two categories come to $1.2 trillion, or almost about 18% of the outlays. So now let's just assume we cut everything else out of our federal government. And I mean everything. So bye-bye CDC, bye-bye the Agricultural Department, bye-bye to our National Forest Service and national parks, bye-bye to the FDA, National Transportation Safety Board, the SEC, the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. Who needs to make sure that our nuclear plants are operating safely? Let's say bye-bye to all of that. If we did that, we come up with a $500 billion surplus. Okay, so this is taking, remember, our receipts were roughly $4.92 trillion. We subtract the $4.42 trillion of the five areas: Social Security, net interest, Medicare, national defense, and VA benefits. That gives us a $500 billion surplus. Now the reality is that $500 billion surplus quickly vanishes when we start to add back in those departments like the National Transportation Safety Board, the SEC, the FDA, the Agricultural Department, and so on. There are many functions that our government serves that are critical to the safety of all of us beyond just military. Military serves a very important function, absolutely. But there are other functions inside our borders that are extremely important to our daily safety of all of us. When we start to add those back in, that 500 billion starts to diminish, and then we start to see how we get to that $1.83 trillion deficit. Are there efficiencies to be found? Absolutely, and I hope that we can agree to find and make these cuts. But we are not going to have an agreement upon that $1.83 trillion deficit. At the end of the day, we need to have cuts and an increase in revenue. When you have a deficit in your own house, you don't cut your hours at work in hopes that your debt automatically disappears. No, you find ways to increase your revenue. Again, DOGE, it's a mirage created by the mega wealthy. The mega wealthy wants to give the perception that we don't need to increase taxes. And if anything, we can reduce taxes and get rid of this national debt that we are burdening future generations with. It's really not going to happen. Well, I hope you like this video. I will give more detail on different balanced budgets, national debt, and different departments. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment, share, provide a suggestion for a future topic. And for everyone out there watching, don't be afraid to lead the pace and keep stomping.